This presentation is brought to you by Jay Camp, Lexi Herman, and Allie Taylor as part of Dr. Fessler's Accounting 520 class. The overall question we will be answering is, does ethical behavior have a role in management planning and control? Stay tuned to see our answer to this question in the following slides. To answer this question, we compared 3 companies based on rankings found on Indeed.com. Walmart ranked among one of the best companies to work for with almost 4.5 stars. Burger King was an average company coming in just below 4 stars, and Kraft Heinz was ranked one of the worst companies to work for in 2019 with an average of 2.7 out of 5 stars. Indeed ranks companies based on work happiness, compensation, and achievement. All 3 of these are relevant factors when considering a company's ethical position in regards to management, planning, and control. Our goal throughout this presentation is to draw a correlation between employee satisfaction and the ethical activities taken by management. While doing our research, we wanted something to continuously reference, so we were able to compare all companies against each other. To do this, we used these questions provided on this slide. All of these questions were found in our Ethical Leadership textbook as part of our 525 leadership class, a class that we have all had to take for this accounting program. Some of the questions include, do organizational leaders send a clear ethical message? Is ethics part of their leadership agenda? Are managers trained to be ethical leaders? Are ethical concerns incorporated into formal decision-making processes? How? Or are only financial concerns taken into account? Take some time to read the questions so you can get an idea of where we're going during this presentation. The first company we will be analyzing is Kraft Heinz. As many of you already know, Kraft Heinz is a leading company in the food and beverage industry. It is continuously growing through acquisition opportunities, most recently the acquisition of Heinz. When looking through Indeed, it was very clear that the workplace environment was not strong. One reviewer stated, Kraft does not care about its employees and will discharge people for no reason if a supervisor dislikes them. They provide no training to speak of, and they are against employee advancement. The work environment is so bad now that they are recruiting from drug halfway houses and keeping the people when they assault coworkers because the state pays part of their wages. Immediately, this is a red flag and direct reflection on management's ethics when fellow employees have these kinds of opinions. Kraft Heinz conducts business in an ethical manner, guided by the enduring principles of its founders and unwavering commitment to integrity, according to their website. However, its code of conduct is outlined very vaguely with no specific ethical statements regarding their operations. Through further investigation, they have ethics outlined in various other documents, including Employee Code of Conduct and its suppliers' guiding principles, discussed further on in this presentation. Additionally, their website states that their ethical conduct provides a safe space for employees. This is not necessarily true. Employees are encouraged to report misconduct to the HR department or their team manager. According to many workplace environment professionals, this is not conducive to a healthy environment. Employees need an outlet to report misconduct anonymously and to someone other than their superiors. Kraft Heinz Environmental Protection Plan states, in our factories, our sustainability process drives decreased energy consumption by installing new technologies and more efficient equipment while optimizing business and manufacturing processes. Kraft Heinz also works with experts in the energy sector to assess facilities and identify potential energy-saving projects. It is clear management knows that environmental protection is a hot topic today and needs to be addressed, which is why they issued a lengthy document stating all of this. When analyzing the document, it is written in very generic terms and provides no specific examples on how they are directly lowering their global impact. What new technologies have they implemented? What new equipment have they invested in? How much are these investments going to lower their global footprint? These are all questions that I was wondering while reading their environmental protection plan. Environmental protection needs to be a core value taken seriously by management, especially when it comes to food companies, as food accounts for over 1/4 of greenhouse emissions, with that number only rising in the future. With regards to Kraft Heinz workers' rights, a formal code of ethics exists. However, it is not detailed and skips over a lot of key facts that would be expected from an industry-leading company. Workers' rights were covered in one page, which was less than 500 words. Here is what their supplier guiding principles states in regarding to workers' hours. Suppliers will comply with all applicable state laws. Look at it compared to Apple's detailed statement. It is clear that management is complying with legislation, but they are not doing anything extra to make their workplace a better environment for all employees. Some other alarming facts I learned when researching Kraft Heinz that also showed the lack of ethical procedures formed by management were regarding their stock compensation plans that were created to incentivize management. More than $81 million of bonuses were awarded to top executives in 2018. It is clear that upper management is compensated much better than their regular factory workers. However, factory workers did have an incentive program which paid them for their attendance. In April 2020, Kraft implemented $100 a week extra pay to incentivize and to encourage workers to perform amid the COVID pandemic. This led to some concerns by the union, saying it tied attendance to their bonus, which was unethical, stating tying extra pay to attendance is unethical because it encourages workers to come to work when they are sick. Additionally, Kraft Heinz has subsidiaries located in the British Virgin Islands and the Cayman Islands, where offshore companies pay zero income tax. This possible tax avoidance is unethical. So, to go back to the question, does ethical behavior have a role in Kraft Heinz planning and control? The answer is yes. Their lack of ethics has a direct relation to poor planning and control. Management does not set tone at the top, and their written procedures are weak and ambiguous to avoid responsibility. Management is also kind of greedy with their bonus incentive plan and their possible tax avoidance.
Now for Burger King. The organization sends a clearer ethical message than Kraft, as its corporate website describes its responsibilities to food, people, environment, and corporate governance. From the website, its responsibility to food is to provide high-quality products and label nutrition values. Its commitment to people is to invest in its employees, franchisees, vendors, and customers. Its core competency is being an exceptional employer. Also stated is its accountability to provide value to stakeholders and customers. Although its responsibility to the environment is stated, the statement is rather short compared to its responsibilities to food and people. Burger King states that it continuously strives to improve its policies on animal welfare and its environmental impacts. Inferring from the statement, the changes in the environmental impact will start with its vendors. Also described is its corporate governance. Its company policies revolve around daily operations and its core ethical principles. Its board of directors set the ethical environment for the company. From a filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission, ethical shortcuts will not be tolerated and integrity is not optional. There is a code of ethics, but it is provided by the location managers or the human resources department. Therefore, the code of ethics is not distributed to all employees, but on an as-needed basis. Every year, the corporate office requires every employee to complete an assessment for compliance with corporate policies, and these evaluations are used when considering promotions. Any ethical misconducts are to be immediately reported by location employees. These misconducts are to be reported to either the anonymous employee hotline, chief compliance officer, chief ethics officer, supervisors, the human resources department, or an attorney in the legal department. Misconducts are to be resolved promptly, but there is not a stated timeline, so misconducts may or may not be resolved in a timely fashion. Burger King is a subsidiary of Restaurant Brands International. From a Restaurant Brands International perspective, more than $44 million of equity were granted to executives in 2018. These executives must become vested before leaving the company, otherwise they will have to forfeit any unvested shares. The vesting period for this company is 5 years. Restaurant Brands International states its use of equity compensation is to align executives' interests with those of shareholders. They are trying to reduce the risk that a corporate executive could use insider information to illegally benefit from the situation. Therefore, stock-based compensation could possibly lead to unethical decisions by management, but with proper oversight from the board of directors, this risk can be mitigated. In the early 2000s, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, better known as PETA, rallied against fast food chains, which affected Burger King the most. These protests became known as Murder King. The rallies focused on the fast food chain suppliers' treatment of animals. But after the rallies were stopped, Burger King suppliers were evaluated based on their treatments of animals, and some suppliers were no longer used, and others were used exclusively. Burger King has, since then, continued to strive for sustainability. Burger King's ethical policy is viewed as a continuous process, not one that is static. It will continue to change as different business situations arise. Not every situation has been accounted for, and its code of ethics explicitly states this. Without Burger King's ethical policy, employees would not perform to management's expectations, the company's reputation would be harmed, laws would be violated, and control over employees' actions would not exist. Does ethical behavior have a role in Burger King's planning and control? Yes. As stated previously, Burger King has an explicit code of ethics that all employees must follow. The tone of the company starts at the top, specifically with the board of directors. From there, the board will enforce the ethic policies onto upper management and so on down to employees working the cash registers. All stakeholders are affected by a single decision made by Burger King. For a scenario, if Burger King falsely advertised its newly improved sustainability practices, when in reality it has deteriorated, this will anger most, if not all, stakeholders. This might cause shareholders to sell their shares in mass quantities, decreasing the company's value in the market, which can lead to other negative business outcomes. In order for Burger King to plan and control the business environment effectively, it must first integrate ethics into the business.
Walmart has become one of the biggest wholesalers in the world since it first became a business in 1962. Walmart is considered a discount store where they sell goods at less than retail value and rank among the top 16 places to work. They are a global company that prides themselves on being able to deliver superior customer service, create a great frontline work environment, and improve performance in order to achieve their common purpose of saving people money so they can live better. Walmart sends a very clear, straightforward ethical message. They report that their main responsibilities are to food, people, environmental sustainability, and community giving. There are subsections within each of these categories. For food, they are responsible to provide high-quality products at a low cost to the consumer. To people, they have a responsibility first to their customers, then to their employees, subsidiaries, and vendors. To environmental sustainability, they have made a vow to source responsibly, sell sustainable products, protect and restore natural resources, and reduce waste and emissions. To the community, they find themselves responsible for local giving, employee volunteering, emergency relief, and food donations. They have based their ethics on how they can give better service to the customer, provide respect for each individual, strive for excellence in all areas, and act with integrity. Walmart refers to their code of ethics as their global statement of ethics. This document is distributed company-wide as well as to their subsidiaries. To start off the document, there's a message from the CEO, Doug McMillon, stating how the document is applicable company-wide and how it starts at the top. It explicitly lays out how each member is responsible to comply with the statement of ethics and report if they see a violation of their policy or even the law. Then it is further broken down into 4 major sections: raising concerns and speaking up, leading with integrity in our workplace, leading with integrity in our marketplace, and leading with integrity in our communities. Each section is broken into subsections that give real-world examples they might encounter as employees and detailed explanation of the company's expectations on how to handle the situation. A unique part of their ethical statement is a section for global ethics helpline numbers. This section provides a phone number for each country in which there is a Walmart location that employees can call in order to receive help and guidance on how to handle a certain situation. This is one outlet that employees or consumers can use in order to report an incident. There is also the option to go to walmartethics.com to file a report, which then goes to the Global Case Management System and the Global Case Management Process. These reports are processed promptly through the routine meeting held by the Ethics and Compliance Committee within the store. When there is a complaint filed, whoever files it receives a report number and has the ability to check on the progress of the claim and ultimately how it is resolved. The objective of their global statement of ethics is to introduce the employee to the behaviors and conduct that create an honest, fair, and objective workplace while operating in compliance with all laws and Walmart's policies. Walmart has placed into their system building blocks that help keep them consistent and responsive as their business and the external environment change. These building blocks are leadership, risk assessment, standards and control, awareness, training, and monitoring and response. I want to mainly focus on awareness, training, and monitoring and response. This is where they incorporate their ethical training for managers as well as their employees. This is important to their culture and how they are able to enforce their ethical code from the top down. They also regularly evaluate whether they have the right leaders for each aspect of their program. Whenever they are doing these evaluations, these help them make informed decisions on a promotion basis as well. Walmart has an Ethics and Compliance Committee in place. It is led by the Global Chief Ethics and Compliance Officer, their CECO. The CECO provides regular updates to the Audit Committee of Walmart's Board of Directors. Therefore, each year, the Audit Committee and the Compensation and Management Development Committee establish goals and metrics relating to the ethics and compliance based on the relevant information that is provided to them by the CECO. They have multiple senior vice president CECOs that lead dedicated teams of ethics and compliance personnel. The Ethics and Compliance Committees are comprised of more than 2,000 associates worldwide and are members of management at the global level and in each of their retail markets. Walmart's most senior executives are members of the company's Ethics, Compliance, and Risk Committee. This is the committee that meets regularly to discuss current issues related to ethics, compliance, and other enterprise-level risks, with meetings structured to ensure follow-up and accountability for action items. This way, it ensures that complaints are being taken care of in a timely manner. So, does ethical behavior have a role in Walmart's planning and control? I believe that the clear answer in this situation is yes. Walmart has laid out very clear ethical guidelines that is given to each associate within their handbook. But top leadership understands that it starts with how the tone at the top is laid out, whether that be specifically from them or the manager of each store, and makes a difference coming down the chain of command. They also provide ethical training to the management and employees and are consistent in monitoring to ensure that they are providing the example and guidance that is required of them. I believe the most important aspect that has a role in their planning and control is their Ethics and Compliance Committee. This committee helps top management to be able to set goals each year on how they can better ensure ethical compliance. Now you can see some of the reasons why Walmart was named the top ethical brand according to consumers by the Morning Consult in 2018.
Throughout this presentation, we hope you have gained a little insight on the ethical procedures, or lack of ethical procedures, of some of America's largest companies. We believe that there's a direct correlation between employee satisfaction and the ethical procedures implemented by management. As soon-to-be college graduates, it is important that we look at companies' ethics when applying for jobs. As we move up in companies, it is even more important that we provide ethical decision-making.